When I found my daughter standing alone in the hotel hallway, the crying had already stopped. Her face was expressionless, eyes red, bare feet pressed against the cold carpet, one small hand still gripping the door handle that wouldn't turn. "Mommy," she whispered, her voice hoarse and trembling. "Andy said I'm not family." For a moment, I couldn't breathe. The world around me shrank until all I could see was her quivering lip and the quiet behind that locked door. From inside, laughter spilled out. My sister's laugh, my parents' voices joining in. The sound hit me like shards of glass. 3 hours. She had been sitting out there for 3 whole hours while they played cards and watched TV. I knocked once. Steady, not loud. The door opened to my sister's annoyed face, a half-empty wine glass dangling in her hand. "What?" she snapped. I looked past her. My parents sat comfortably on the couch, not one of them moving. "You left my daughter outside," I said quietly. My father only shrugged. "She was making noise." My mother added, "Your sister needed rest. You always overreact." That was the moment something inside me shifted, not broken, not shattered, just realigned. I didn't yell. I didn't step inside. I simply said, "Okay." Then I lifted my daughter into my arms and walked away. That night, as she slept beside me in the spare room, I lay staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The laughter, their indifference, the way cruelty sounded casual when it came from them. It wasn't new. My sister had always been their favorite. When she caused drama, it was called passion. When I defended myself, it was called attitude. I'd swallowed too many little humiliations, convincing myself that keeping peace was a mature choice. But watching my child sleep that night, I finally understood peace with people like them isn't peace at all. It's permission, and I was done giving it. The next morning, I acted normal. Breakfast, smiles, light conversation. My sister even joked, "She'll forget by tomorrow." She didn't know I never would. Later that afternoon, while they lounged by the pool, I sat inside with my laptop open, expression calm, fingers steady. I began making calls. See, my sister's husband owned a design firm, but the business contracts were in my name. Years ago, when she begged for help starting it, I'd sign on as guarantor, using my credit, my network, my reputation. She'd forgotten that. I hadn't. Same with my parents' mortgage. I was a co-signer when my father's business collapsed. They liked to call it family helping family. So I helped again. 3 days later, I made one transfer. Just one. A legal, quiet shift of funds back into my account. Everything verified, every clause airtight. That single transaction triggered a domino effect. Bounced payments, frozen credit lines, and an audit notice of firm. By evening, my sister was pacing the hotel lobby, whispering into her phone, panic creeping into her voice. My parents hovered close by, confusion spreading across their faces. I sat in the cafe across the hall, sipping coffee, watching the scene unfold like a slow play. When she finally spotted me, she stormed over. "Did you do something?" "The bank says." I looked up, met her eyes for the first time since that hallway. "I just moved what's mine." "You can't do that," she hissed. "I can," I said softly. "And I did." Her voice rose. "You're ruining my life." I tilted my head. "You ruined your own the moment you decided my daughter didn't belong in your family." She froze. The color drained from her face. Behind her, my parent approached. My mother's voice was sharp, brittle. "You can't punish all of us for a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding?" I repeated. "You locked a child out of a room. Your grandchild." My father tried to sound authoritative. "You're being vindictive." I smiled faintly. "No, I'm being fair." By the time our flight home left, their world had already started to crumble. The bank demanded repayment of the business loan. The mortgage defaulted. My sister's husband discovered she'd been secretly using my accounts to cover their expenses. She called me every name she could think of. Then she cried. Then she begged. But once you realize you hold the leverage, you don't give it back. I gave them choices. Sell the firm, pay the penalties, or sign over partial ownership to me and walk away. They signed. Of course, they did. A week later, I visited my parents. My mother couldn't meet my eyes. My father looked smaller somehow, deflated. Why? He asked finally. We're family. No. I said, standing in the doorway, just like I had outside that hotel room. Family protects each other. You taught me what happens when they don't. Month have passed since then. My daughter laughs freely again. She's mostly forgotten that night. Sometimes she asks why we don't visit Grandma and Auntie anymore. I tell her, because some doors aren't meant to be knocked on twice. I don't regret what I did. They mistook my silence for weakness. But silence isn't surrender. It's strategy.